putting the nickname of Strikeout Vauzz behind Chacha. He looks to continue where he left off last episode, bringing in that new mantra of patient batting, and look to continue his dominant streak running the bases and fielding that ball. Now, it wasn't that long ago Chacha was struggling, especially after this 0-for stretch, but he followed it by going 400 with a home run, 667 and a home run, 250 and 500. But even with that recent success over the last couple games, that strikeout percentage is still high, sitting at 25.4. We want to see that drop in today's episode while seeing that walk percentage increase and continuing with a patient at bat. We should hopefully see that here today. We would also like to see our Cardinals once again reclaim the top spot in the National League Central come the end of this episode. Pirates are 2 games up on us, same as the Cubbies, and that is where we begin today. This time, it'll be at home here in St. Louis, taking on the Chicago Cubs. And Chacha stepping up to bat here, bottom of the first. Not lead off for the Cardinals today, but batting second. Vauzz will let that cutter find the strike zone. Once again, patience has paid off here. We got the count up to 2-2. Though not all of those have been in the strike zone. Chacha here. We'll get a tapper over towards short. And the throw will retire Vauzz. Bottom of the first, no hit to start the day. His next at bat would come here bottom fourth, and again, he's not swinging at that first pitch, and it's basically down the middle with the cutter. So pitch 2. Chacha swings at that one, another one down the middle, but he gets a little bit too underneath it. It'll be a fly out to center. But we will have another chance here. Bottom 6. Still no runs on the board, but Chacha has a man on first. And the crowd getting into it with the mascot up on the dugout. Maybe perhaps getting behind Chacha Vauzz here as well. Looks like he's faking a bunt here. Lets that one find the upper portion of the strike zone just inside. And swings under the high fastball. Honestly, it was a good one to hit, maybe a little bit high, but Chacha just whiffs on that one entirely. That's frankly what we've been seeing too much of. It hasn't really been swinging at bad pitches. It's just been missing on some swings or getting some very poor contact. Michael Busch stepping up here for the Cubs, top 7, still 0-0. And will be a bouncer over to Chacha, turns into a roller, but will be thrown to first to record that out. So both pitchers going well deep into this game. Vauzz, he's trying to get something going as they do finally bring in a reliever in the bottom of the 9th. No one on, and we've only got one option, so I guess we're going big pitch swinging here. We've got 98 at the high to 79 at the low. Vauzz, can he hit the home run? Well, that one will be low. And he gets under that one. It doesn't quite have the power to leave. Instead, it hangs in the air for the center fielder to track it down. And it's looking like we will have extras here unless they could get something done with the final bat. It'll be up to Michael Ciani here with Chacha actually behind. We have moved into extras. It's the 11th, and Chicago takes game 1 as they found a lead either in the 11th or the 10th, unsure. I would have liked to see what the bat after Chacha was going to do there in the 9th, but Cubbies take that win, and that is 4 straight wins over our Cardinals. Once again, Chacha is left with a no-hitter. Moving into game 2, it's out in the field to get us started. As Ian Happ is stepping up to bat here, we got Quinn Matthews on the mound. Vauzz would like to make these quick work out in the field and focus in on that batting. So as we look to make a play over at first, he's got a cover to his right. Hard hit ball, but Chacha cuts it off, and the throw will be well in time to get the second out of the first. We're looking to get our first hit of the day here. Overall, it's bottom of the first. Chacha batting leadoff here for the Cardinals. It's Boyd on the mound. And Chacha goes first pitch swinging, drooping one in shallow center field. So not patient at bat there, but it's his best at bat so far today. And for Lars Nootbaar, it's a man already on the bases after they failed to get a single run in game one. Chacha with an extra step. He's always a threat to steal as he goes here, and he stays perfect on the season. Stolen base number 11 for Chacha Vauzz. That moves him 180 feet away. As he extends that lead, he's trying to get 90 feet away. A dribbler that will go to second. Chacha rounding and sliding in for that run. They could not manage in game one. It's a 1-0 lead here, bottom of the first. As we then move quickly to top of the second. Chacha's run has them in charge here as Michael Bush once again stepping up to bat. Quinn Matthews had a quick first inning. Only 8 pitches. Number 9 here. Chacha once again going to have to try to get over there. Cuts it off. Can he make the throw? It will not be in time. Good infield single for Bush. But it is nice to see Chacha actually cut those off. Many times that has gotten through. As we step back up to bat here, it's bottom 3 with the man on this time for Vauzz. He went first pitch swinging last time on a fastball just inside the zone. He'll sit on that one and it'll be low. And that one will be rolled over to first. Chacha, he is gonna be the culprit of a double play. Not quite getting enough on that hit, nor is his speed enough to try to run it out. But his lead from earlier in this game stays intact as we move forward to bottom of the 6th with a dynamic challenge. As we lead off the inning, Vauzz going to try to get back on the bases. Pitch number 59 for Boyd. We've only seen one in the strike zone from that last set of pitches. And first pitch swinging here, that's going to go to left, but tracking it down will be the Cubbies left fielder. Chacha once again retired. And come top of the 8th, it will be Chicago tying this game with Ian Happ stepping up to bat. He's got a man on first, though 0-2 count for Ryan Fernandez. With 2 outs, we just got to get a simple play either at second or first here, depending on the hit. Pitch is in. This one will be a grounder over to Chacha. He'll take a few steps in, and he'll have us out of the top of the 8th with work to do in the last inning and a half. It will be Vauzz trying to keep the bottom of the 8th going here with 2 outs, no one on. It's Tyson Miller. He's already tossed 11 here. Number 12 coming to Chacha Vauzz with a hot top 2/3 of the strike zone. That one finds the bottom 1/3. And reaching out for one just on the edge of the zone. It will be another fly here for Chacha. Still waiting for a multi-hit day unless this one does go into extras and once again provide him another hitting opportunity. It won't be in this game. Good news for Chacha. He'll have a say in that as we are right out here to start the top of the 9th. It is Suzuki stepping up to bat. 0 for 3 in this one with a strikeout, fly out, ground out. Fernandez, though, trying to give us some chances here late on with this game still tied up 1 apiece. Pitch is in. This one going to be a hard hit and through the infield. Missed there by the right fielder, but will maintain over at first. And as we move along, Suzuki will have found home plate. Chicago once again takes a late game lead by just 1 run. And it's a runner on first here for us with 2 outs. Nolan Arenado up to bat. And this one will take a fly, but an easy fly to center. And that will be the series won yet again by Chicago, extending their lead over our Cardinals. This time we just got to break up the sweep like we were not able to do the first time. So into the final game, I believe even at home, the rest of this episode, we get the game moving. It is Cabrera stepping up to bat. We got Palante on the mound, and we're already at top of the second, so he did not lead off in this one with only one hit so far in this series. We're looking to make another play here at first. It's another grounder to Chacha, who will settle. Let that ball roll in and make the throw to first, keeping that fielding percentage high. Now we really need to come through with our best at-bats of this series. We're down to 301, started at 311. Once again, Mascot trying to get people hyped up here because we got a man on first, nobody out, bottom of the second for Chacha Vauzz, facing Kyle Hendricks. With pitch number 15, Vauzz goes first pitch swinging, looking for another drooper, but it just hangs too high for too long. And will be another out in center. He honestly hasn't had too bad of swings in this one. We just haven't gotten them to land like we were hoping. Suzuki, who cost us the game at Chicago, they've put on 2 runs here. Nobody out, top of the 5th with 2 on. McGreevy on the mound, not looking his sharpest. As that one is through the infield, another runner will look to go home. Well ahead of the throw, make it 3 for Chicago. At this point, I don't think we like Suzuki, as they would double that 3, make it 6 come bottom of the 5th, so we really got to get something going here for our Cardinals. Chacha again, first pitch swinging, but right down the middle. We're just not getting the hits we're wanting. But it has been a whole lot better than striking out every at-bat. In fact, I don't think we struck out last game, but we are striking out in this series as we are down 10, bottom of the 7th. Take the first pitch and Reese base. Well, that's what our mantra is. We haven't followed that in this game because the pitches have just been too nice. But Chacha sits on that circle change inside, will pay off. Ultimately, that is what the manager wants to see, some more patience from Vauzz at the plate. We'll sit on that one too, sinker low. And after 2 outside, now they get 2 bottom 3rd, the cold portion of Chacha's zone. Count goes 2-2. Leaves that one down the middle. Again, it's some good contact from Vauzz, and it does bounce down. Will just be a single. So far, our hits have been bloops, and some of our outs have been much better hits. But we get on base here for Nolan Gorman, bottom of the 7th, and we would love to spark something here for our Cardinals. Vauzz with his extra step. Pitcher looks over his shoulder, doesn't go his way. Vauzz, though, he is running, sliding down, but does not matter as the final out will be at first. Chicago well in charge here in St. Louis. But with bottom of the 9th rolling in and 1 out, 1 on for Vauzz, he'll have a chance at a multi-hit day if he could poke this one through. Porter Hodge on the mound, though, for Chicago. Pitch number 30 for him. Not much speed, though, in front of Chacha as he is well behind that splitter. And coming at Chacha with a little bit more of some faster-paced balls than what he normally gets. A lot of off-speed. Has him down in the count here, 1-2. And gets another piece, a 97 fastball just above the zone, but closer than it was with that second pitch Chacha actually laid off of. Count stays 1-2. Hodge. Not going to get Chacha there. Fastball down the middle is good timing. Weak contact and foul. Oh, and eventually Hodge just nails Chacha on the back of the shoulder. Throw that guy out of here. Chacha was running up the count as he just kept fouling off pitch after pitch. That seemed intentional. Leaves it up to Nolan Gorman, who's going to send this one flying back to the warning track and caught. And you're not going to advance on that? That is why we're down 11-2. Perhaps that and some really bad pitching. Aaron Shunk, can you get something going then? As Chacha extends that lead, why not make it an even larger lead? Can he go? Yes, he will, and he's going to try a pickoff attempt, but no problem. Chacha is back. He just had a sense that that first baseman was making his way back over to the plate. Trying to get in the head here of Hodge. Force a bad throw. Let Shunk go crazy on it, as that one is a dribbler through the infield. Chacha, he's heading to third. He's forcing that runner to go home. And we get that run, an RBI for Shunk. I don't know if the guy in front of Chacha, whoever it was that just scored there, is going to appreciate Chacha forcing him to run there, but what we got to do, and we're down this much. That one lands. Are we about to have a 9th inning 2-out rally as we now make it 11-4? Well, we're still going here as Wilson Contreras steps up with the bases juiced. We are down by 5. We need this to be a grand slam plus more. But he gets actually a little bit too far underneath that one. And that ends the rally as we do tack on quite a few runs there in the 9th. But once again, it'll be broomsticks for the Cubs against our Cardinals. Of finding our way above the Cubbies seem to have washed away with that series, now down by 5. We're also still down by 4 to the Pirates, so any work at climbing closer to these two is going to have to come against different opponents. But before we jump into this 3-game stretch against the Phillies and then into the Guardians, Vauzz, he's going to work a bit more here on his contact. Now, we've been going with clutch, we've been going with plate vision, but we still are getting weak contact or even okay contact when we have good timing. So instead, we're going to focus in on these contact ratings, trying to get them as high as we can. So we'll confirm that 78 and 77 respectively. And hopefully with that, we'll start to see a little bit more of these multi-hit days and get away from some of these offers. So as we head then to Citizen Park here to face off against the Philadelphia Phillies, Chacha Vauzz really wants to make sure we're getting some multi-hit days. And that starts with a dynamic challenge as we step up to the plate, already down 4. But we do have 2 on the bases. Frankly, we would love to drive them both in. So facing Aaron Nola, we need a solid hit into the gap. With some patience, Chacha gets the lucky call there. That one definitely could have gone either way, but we will thank the ump as we take this count 1-0. Chacha waiting for his pitch. And he goes swinging at the third, but it's a whole lot more of what we saw in that last series. Another fly out to the outfield to left. Good news, we have 2 more outs to play with here, so hopefully some of these runs score. And as we have a dynamic challenge to follow that, it's the same exact situation, though. If we plate both runners, we tie the game. So everyone else is doing a much better job hitting here than Chacha. He would like to join the party. Aaron Nola, pitch number 51 here, top of the 4th with no outs. That one's going to be foul. And swings through the knuckle curve. It was an 0-2 count. That one was definitely inside the strike zone. You had to go swinging at it. But a great set of pitches here from Nola. For Chacha, that is 4 runs he has left stranded, and we know that he has the ability to bring them all home. But as we then take it to the field, bottom of the 4th, we're trying to keep this just a 2-run game. Turning a double play would very much help us out in Mike Soroka, who gives up a soft little tapper. Chacha, he'll look to get the guy at second, but will not be in time at first. Didn't trust he could get the tag and throw. But we do get the lead runner, keeping this game a 2-run deficit for the Cardinals. And Chacha, he needs a hit. Average down to 297 here. 1 out. That one is just off the plate. Gets a piece of it. Gonna have to try to run this one out, but it is a half step ahead of Chacha. Retired yet again. He might have one more at bat. But we're right now staring at another no-hitter. But on top of that, we've also got to work our way back to leveling this game and beyond. Bryce Harper, though, he's stepping up to bat. Bottom of the 8th. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a flyout. So even some really good batters struggle at times. That is what Chacha is seeing here with some up and down, middle of the road play from what he expects of himself. Harper is going to ground this one over to Chacha. Look to make that an 0 for 4 day. And hopefully we'll have the chance to avoid that ourselves. And that chance would come top of the ninth with a runner on. Chacha Vauzz facing Kirkering. Got to get a hit here. That one was definitely inside, but that's where most of the pitches have been today, so you got to work with what you're given. Though that one definitely could have been a ball. That one was down the middle. Chacha again with good timing, but he's just not getting the contact we're looking for. And unless someone else can tie this game up, that was Chacha's last opportunity for a hit against the Phillies in Game 1. Victor Scott could be the hero here for the St. Louis Cardinals. Bases now juiced. 2 outs. And that one hits the pitcher in the ankle. Runner coming in is safe, but not safe at first. Phillies will take the game as we were merely a foot or two, maybe even less, from tying it up. But as Vauzz goes 0 for 4, the St. Louis Cardinals also 0 for 4 on the day. Getting into Game 2, once again, he sits on that first pitch, and it was a good one to try to swing at. Ever since we stopped swinging at bad pitches, Chacha's gotten a lot of good ones. Just wait for that good contact. Cutter left down the middle. Good timing, but it's weak again. Not sure what Chacha has to do to get these to finally go his way. 0-2 count. And another foul ball on the slider clipping the zone. And he swings just over the top of the circled change. It is a strikeout. It has not been 1 in 4. But another good timing swing there that he just does not get a piece of. I feel like at some point we might need to extend our bat if possible here. Alex Bohm, though, he's batting pretty well. 327, 8 home runs, 33 RBIs. He's got a man on first. As Sonny Gray's on the mound, we're going to try to turn a double play for our man there. A little bit of a awkward hit there to Chacha, but we'll get the tag himself. And we'll make the throw over to first. A double play there for Vauzz. What we would like is a double or more here at the plate. Pitch 1. They will count as a strike, getting enough of the plate there. 0-1. Chacha Vauzz, he would love a hit here. And he gets a piece of it. Won't count as a hit. Instead, ground out back over to short. He's just hit the ball at a defender pretty much every time he's gotten a piece of one. And while some coaches might see that as, hey, he's making at least some contact out there, better than striking out, you're still not getting anything really productive off of these. Though his play in the field has remained pretty productive. Looking to get another out over here at first. Beating that runner by a good step. Perhaps we're going to have to trade a fielding error for a hit. As we do finally take a lead here, top of the 6th, Chacha with a dynamic challenge. He leads off the inning against the Phillies. And it's pretty simple for us right now. We just want a hit. We want to reach base. Sanchez, pitch number 65. Chacha once again just getting a piece, maybe slightly early there, but the contact has just been horrific. I wonder what the new nickname's going to be then for Vauzz. Weak contact Vauzz? Weak hit Chacha? I mean, what are we staring at here? As Trey Turner is stepping up, he also has 2 ground outs, so everyone's struggling to get hits in this one, with the run sitting at 1 for the St. Louis, 0 for the Phillies. And will be another ground out here for Turner as Chacha drives in on it. Throw a little high, but in the range. For Vauzz, we could really use with something here. His confidence dipping down, dynamic challenge to help try to boost it. 2 outs, runners on the corner. We want to try to drive in 1 or more here as we got a new pitcher in who's going to throw anywhere from 96 to 84. And Vauzz, he's trying to lay down a squeeze play that will be a hit, and he scores another run. Feels like the bunts. That is what typically breaks the lull here for Chacha Vauzz. The swinging bunt played into a gap in the field and enough speed there at third to bring home a run. Leaves 2 on though for Lars Nootbaar, as he might even make this a bases loaded situation top of the 7th. It is a 3-0 count for Tommy on the mound, who's only thrown 4 pitches, which have led to 3 balls and a bases loaded situation, let alone the bunt from Chacha to bring this to a 4-0 ball game. Now Herrera, who has done nothing but strike out ground out, I should say, every time we've seen him bat. Chacha would love to run here or trot on into third. Another walk for Tommy. That now leaves Vauzz 90 feet from the plate. It all started with the bunt. And Contreras can knock us all home here, really opening up this score. That one is in play, but a pop-up. Chacha will run on home, but will not count, as that is flied about 3 feet in front of first base. But only now will tell if that bunt did finally open things up here for Chacha. Top of the 9th, he's got another runner on, and he misses that circle change. Swinging early, but the contact was entirely missed. Not missing that one, but speared by the third baseman. Come on. That was some of our best contact we've seen today. And it does lead us right to what I was talking about. Pretty much all of our best contact going straight to a defender. But we pick up our first win here today against the Phillies. Game 2. Now, can we take the series? Game 3. Well, once again, it starts with Chacha stepping up to bat here, leading off for the St. Louis Cardinals. Jesus Luzardo on the mound. And your game's underway with a strike right down the middle. Chacha again, practicing with that patience, but some of these have just looked too good to perhaps let go by. Especially when you then swing at that slider high, but it looks like we're going to have a new pitcher as Luzardo pulled his groin. So stepping in is Tommy Boy, who just gave up 5 runs the last time we saw him. Really affecting that ERA, which was at a good spot prior to. So with an 0-2 count then, Vauzz, what do you got for us with a new pitcher on the mound? Sits on that circle change, barely below the zone. A risky take, but pays off. Count goes 1-2. And Vauzz takes that one well outside. 2-2, battling back here in the count. Pitch number 3 come in here from Tommy. What has he got here for Chacha? He's got the strikeout on the sinker. Swinging a little bit early on that one. Wasn't going to have any sort of contact luck with that. Tommy comes in and closes out the inning, and on top of it, Phillies take a 1-run lead as Trey Turner steps up to bat with 2 on, nobody out. We've got Littell on the mound here with an 0-2 count. We could really use with a double play ball. Gonna be hit pretty hard over towards short. Gonna have to make the play at first. Runner will advance to third, but we get 2, hoping to limit them to less than 2 runs. As we have a dynamic challenge, indeed we would. On top of that, we score our first run with no outs. Chacha has 2 on, 1 on the corners. And once again, he would love to drive in these base runners with 73 speed at first. A good hit into the gap would do so. Buck Farmer has stepped into this game, and Chacha swings on that first pitch, fouling off the sinker. But taking the next 2, Vauzz recovers, making this 2-1. The pitch is in. That one was definitely in the zone low. That's where a lot of these have been, either on the outside or low against Chacha. They're targeting his cold areas, and once again, he missed the contact entirely on that one. And he swings on the inside slider. I don't know if that was natural instinct to try to protect yourself, but he could have got hit on that one or just watched it go by and take ball number 3. But we will still have a dynamic challenge for Vauzz as we move forward to then top of the 5th. This time just 1 runner on, as team still tied though, 2-2. Vauzz desperate for an RBI. He has not had one outside of that bunt play today. Facing another new pitcher, and 1 pitch and done. Skying this one high. About 2.5 steps in front of the center fielder. Once again, we get that good timing Contact not there, and our third straight dynamic challenge, as now we need to tie this game. We are leading off the 7th, and for Chacha, he knows that means he must get on base. Jordan Romano on the mound here, and he could go from 99 to 84. And we'll get a piece of his first pitch. It's a 96 fastball, but Chacha once again sends it straight to a defender. Second baseman throws him out at first. At least we're keeping this ball in play most of the time. Fourth dynamic challenge now, unless I've lost count, as we are now top of the 9th. We are down to Chacha Vauzz. Gotta make something happen here. With 2 outs, do we feel greedy here? Do we think we could smack a home run? With 100 mile per hour on that fastball, down to an 84 with the sweeper. Well, he makes contact with the sinker, but it's foul. All of these pitches in the zone, but Chacha's not made good contact. Count goes to 0-2. And he finally takes the inside sweeper. I know some people out there would love to see him finally take some of those inside pitches, especially the sliders. And that is almost what he gets there, but it's back to the sweeper. And we've got a Kirkering fan up in the crowds here, wanting to get that win and take the series. Vauzz could disrupt it with a good enough hit. That throw is in time. Vauzz cannot hit the ball through the infield, and it's another series loss here for the Cardinals. Only one win today as we head into our final series of the episode, looking for at least something to hang our hat on. And frankly, there really hasn't been anything to do that in this one. Can some new equipment help out? Well, there's a gold, but it's just in a celebration. Everything else is not going to help out Vauzz. Well, on top of that, we don't have enough tokens with how bad the bat has been today to upgrade anything that we feel would actually help improve that bat. As we make our way then to Progressive Field now to face the Cleveland Guardians, who are 5 games higher up than we are here. We've dropped down to 500, 31-31. Vauzz has to get something going here. That average has dropped below 280. Almost a full 100 off of where we were maybe about a month or so ago. First pitch swinging, sends this one deep left field, but you know what's happening. It's tracked down. Vauzz has not been able to buy a hit today outside of really just that RBI bunt we had a couple games ago. Cleveland takes an early lead. 3 runs come to bottom of the first against Quinn Matthews. David Fry, he's trying to join the party with 2 outs, no one on. And this one will just be sent right to Chacha, who waits. Then we'll have to take a few steps in. And that throw will be well in time. Keeping the fielding good. We've seen great stealing from Vauzz. Good timing on his swings. They just haven't really had any good contact. As we step up to bat, top of the 4th, we are now down by 4. Not looking good for a Cardinals win as Chacha waits on that circle change. It finds the bottom middle of the zone, and it's just going to be another foul hit with some weak contact. Yet and yet again, waiting on that, another one, weak contact, and Vauzz is out as he dribbles it over to third. Happen to feel like I might have to do some Googling here to figure out where we need to be for Vauzz. Those contact ratings in the high 70s. Low 70s for the contact and clutch. But we're just not seeing much of any contact or clutch right now. Another one sent straight to the first baseman. This has got to be the hottest cold streak I've ever seen from a player, where it's just pure unluckiness out there. As we have at least kept this to a 4-run game. Tyler Freeman stepping up to bat with a man on first. Dribbled, actually bouncing over to third, nearly over his head, but he'll make the play to Chacha. Rounding the horn over to first, we do get that double play. How about another dynamic challenge? Because the last few have been so good for us. And it's with a man on third, top of the 9th, Chacha Vauzz. I want an RBI. Why that isn't an option, I don't know. We got Tim Herron, though, on the mound. Goes anywhere from 79 up to 98 with that fastball. And Chacha, that's not where you want to put that bunt, but I see what you're trying to do there, laying down a squeeze. It is 0-1 then as that one goes foul. Sit on that slurve outside. And with none of these pitches being anywhere close to one another, count goes 1-2. You would hope it would be the opposite. Based off of placement, and Chacha strikes out ahead of that slurve. And yeah, even coach isn't showing his face because it has not been good out there for St. Louis. His job is under threat just as well as all of the players. But how about to try to lift our spirits? A boss challenge, because we've done oh so well at these. Another 0 for day we're coming off of, and we're stepping up to bat here with no one on. So why it's a boss challenge, I don't know. But why not? Let's try to get at least a double here on Tanner Bibby. It's Chacha Vauzz. Swinging at a circle change that ends up down in the dirt. He then misses on another circle change inside the zone, and he's already down 0-2. Chacha Vauzz, got anything here for us? He gets contact, but it is slowly traveling out to right field, and Vauzz is retired yet again. These hits doing nothing for either him or the St. Louis Cardinals. But without a boss challenge, can we get something done? 2 outs, top of the third. We've got a man on third with 44 stealing. Perhaps we could work him around, or we could just send that one into second base. Another ground out. Chacha has been kept off the bases all day long. That is only a slight exaggeration, as it is bottom of the third. 2 outs. All of the highlights for Vauzz so far have been out in the field. 0-2, and will be a bouncer. Chacha cuts that one off. We'll look to make the throw well ahead of the runner. Really good in the field. Really good running the bases when he can. Would love to translate that into some really good hits. At least last time out when we had all the strikeouts, we also had a couple home runs and some couple hits going as well. We could use with that. Still down 3 here against the Guardians. BB here, he's on pitch number 59 as Chacha looks to take that inside one down the line, but it goes foul. And dancing around here with Tanner. Count goes 2-2, though only one in the strike zone. So clearly going fishing, and swings through the curveball. I don't know, that felt like good timing there from Vauzz. It's just another miss at the plate. As it's bottom 6 now, keeping that score tight. Vauzz in the field. If only we could score from the field, that would help us out. This one will be to Chacha, reaching over to cut that one off. And looks to make the throw. Another clean one over to first. He's retired just about as many players as he himself has been retired today. Top of the 8th with a dynamic challenge. We could open this game up with some hits here. How about a double or better for Chacha Vauzz? And did that previous scene not just show that it was raining? I don't know. It's clearly not from this side of the plate. And he gets way under that one. Another example of good contact with absolutely horrific contact. But what Chacha wasn't able to do, some of the other Cardinals were. Herrera, though, trying to keep this game alive. Yeah, nope. And he's also having a really hard time with contact as well. Skies that one up about 8 feet from the plate. Catcher gets under it, and there is another loss. Not only the series, but the game as well, as Cardinals drop this one 4-3 to the Guardians. So after a tremendous start to his time here at the major leagues, getting hit after hit, right now we're just getting out after out. And it's not all strikeouts. We have struck out a little bit here today as we get into our final game. That knuckle curve, not one to swing at, Chacha, but at this point, does it really matter? 0-1 count. Inside, might as well just let that hit you. It's the only way you're reaching base today. The count goes 1-1 with nothing close to the strike zone so far for Vauzz. That one was a circle change that he's a little bit ahead of. And it goes foul. That time we might have a blooper, and indeed we will. So what in total is that today? 2 to 3 bloopers and an RBI bunt. I don't know how I feel about that. You let me know how you feel about that down below, but Chacha finally gets a hit, and he's on the bases here. Shane Bieber. Is he going to look to pick off Chacha as he takes that extra step? Yes, he is. Vauzz, though, he is back safely. He's had pitchers have their way with him, so why not try to get into the head then of these pitchers? As he's looking for another steal, that one is a nicely thrown strike. But Chacha, he's in. So we get the out at the plate, but Vauzz moves to scoring range then for Nolan Gorman. As Bieber here on pitch 14, Chacha not extending his lead here, so watch out that something might happen. As that one is going to take a nice fly. Why are you pausing? Because we already got 2 outs. Well, it's going to be an out anyway. Chacha not able to find a run. Keeps this game tied 0-0 through the top of the first. And as we move to top of the third, both teams would find some runs, but yet again the lead in favor of the Guardians. 4-2 with a man on second for Vauzz, who sends this one back left field, but well short of that towering wall. It will be a fly out, and Chacha does not advance the runner. But perhaps all of today's badness is coming down to this right here. Facing Luis Ortiz, stepping in to face Chacha Vauzz with the bases loaded. He's got a variety of pitches. Can we take advantage? Gotta wait for our pitch, and it was the first one, the slider down the middle. Late, and of course that one comes with a good contact. Count goes 0-1 for Vauzz. And it's a sinker just clipping the zone. Swung through, missing entirely is Vauzz. At this point, you just want to make sure you get something here. Wait for your pitch. Or apparently don't wait for your pitch. Chacha takes another one inside off the chest, but he tried to lay down the squeeze again, and it's a strikeout. This man just doesn't quite understand sometimes patience. Jose Ramirez, though, he's trying to get the lead for the Guardians. As this game stays tied up here, we don't get anything with Chacha taking that one square off the chest yet again, but we could get an out here to keep us clean. Over to Chacha, takes a few steps over, lets it roll on in. Collect and throw a little high. My reticle was not that high, but we do get out of the fourth, keeping this one level. With that, we'll have a dynamic challenge as well. Now needing one of those runs we could not take in last time. Runner on second for Vauzz here. Just let us do something fun here to close out this episode. That's all I'm asking for here. Pitch is in, and it's in. With that count then working 2-2. Only one pitch has clipped the zone, so of course we're swinging at some bad ones here. Can't miss out on this opportunity here, Vauzz. Getting another piece of one. That slurve, bottom inner part of the zone. Count stays 2-2 with a foul tip. Tim Herron. It's a slider inside. Chacha does not swing at. Maybe he thought about it. Maybe he did and he just didn't. We never know, but the count is full. 3-2 for Chacha Vauzz. And it's one to hit. Going back and down in left center. Chacha, he's going to dig in with a throw off the mark. It is a RBI double for Chacha Vauzz. Finally making something happen. And in all honesty, that button was definitely pressed on that slider inside. We'll thank the game this time for not getting us out as Chacha digs on in. Well ahead of the throw. He stays perfect on his steals, number 13. That leaves him 90 feet away as the go-ahead run. For Ivan Herrera, that goes 2-1. The show building some drama here as we try to take a lead. We've only won one game so far in this entire episode. And Herrera come through for us here, top of the sixth, and give us that lead. Count goes 3-1. And it's ball after ball. Herrera will reach. And it is none other than Nolan Gorman, the man whose spot we took at second base, stepping up to bat. He's batting sub 200, so he's not doing too great either. As he takes that one low, count goes 2-1. Herrera's even made his way over to second here. A single could score two. 3-1. Alec Burleson He's stepping up, and at this pace, it might be for a grand slam opportunity. Gorman with a 3-1 count. Takes the ball low inside, bases loaded for Alec Burleson, who was 1 for 3 on the day with a double and 2 RBIs, 3 for 7 in the series. And he could give us the lead here. So the count is 0-2 for Herron. Vauzz would love a hit. And that it is a tapper to end the top of the 6th. After all that drama, we just tie the game. Do not take the lead as Herron gets out of the jam. Both teams would tack on a run as we would move on then to top of the 8th. Chacha Vauzz back up to bat here. He's 2 for 4 in this one. It's been his best game at the plate in today's episode. Can he find another? Well, that one was down the middle. He goes power swinging, barely late on it at all, but the contact once again is poor. Make that 2 for 5. And as we step up to bat again here, it is actually extras. We have an 8-7 advantage. Runners on the corner here for Vauzz. An RBI base hit could give us a little bit of some extra cushion. Clase on the mound. He goes 102 to 89. And that one will find the bottom third of the zone. Following that, a foul ball off the four-seam fastball. 0-2 here for Vauzz. As he lays down the bunt, he's looking for another squeeze. 2 outs, and Chacha reaches. The bunt for the win this time, not off his chest. And that is a 9-7 ball game, hopefully actually for the win. Only time will tell here. Good play, though, from the third baseman. Nearly got Chacha. Ivan Herrera, he could add on to it here. With 2 outs, 0-1 count. We're up 2. Would love a 2 RBI right here. Double or speared by the second baseman. So number 2 still plays into action on that one. But it does take us to the bottom of the 10th. Up 2 on, 1 out. And this will be a grounder. Chacha gets in the way. Shortstop, why are you taking that from me? Come on, Sagazy. But we will get that win as we get the double play. Vauzz helping get that insurance run, but it is not the winning run. We win 2 games in this entire episode, including your final one here in a losing series. But at least for Vauzz, he does end off of a really good game. We go 3 for 6 in that one. We had 2 RBIs. We did have a strikeout, but we stole 2 bases. Overall, that was a really good game for us. But we put up so many blanks in today's episode. But frankly, it wasn't as bad as last episode, in terms of strikeouts at least. In fact, we lowered our strikeout percentage by just about 1.5% in just 9 games. I will take that. It's moving in the right direction. Our WAR stays roughly what it was before. I want to say it was either 0.8 or 1, so it stays there. Our fielding is still at a really high spot. Stolen bases are still perfection. The only problem we are seeing from Chacha is simply we are not getting good contact. And I feel like that's more on the game than it is the ratings here from Vauzz. I mean, I know 78 and 77 aren't dominant by any means, but I don't think it's weak contact after weak contact. So what I'm wondering is perhaps we need to change some settings and go from the timing, which I was using, to more represent the ratings. But frankly, I don't think we are seeing the ratings represented. So perhaps we change things up and we end up using a little bit more of a PCI instead to help try to correct some of the effects of the contact where we are clearly just whiffing on balls or barely making any sort of contact when we have the really good timing. We'll see how that goes next time. And speaking of next time, we will have the Mets, the Brewers, as well as the Reds. But we could use wins against anybody right now. Reds just a couple games behind us, Brewers a little bit more down the lines, but facing both of them, if they end up sweeping us, that could very much help them get above us and we could see ourselves drop back down. But we are trying to climb like the Pirates have, as well as the Cubs, opening up a solid lead here at the top of the NL Central. But do let me know down below what you think about switching up that timing, using that PCI, and if you think that'll help Chacha, or if you do really think it is the ratings that are just too low. But also make sure you're here to see if Chacha can bounce back and finally get some hits into some grass here and not into players' mitts. Hit that bear icon on the bottom right, or scroll down, hit the sub button, and tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. Also make sure you leave Chacha a little bit of some motivation. Smash that thumbs up to try to get his head where it needs to be and getting these hits like we know he can. We'll see you around, as we've got a lot of big episodes coming this week around the horn as the Jaguars close out their regular season tomorrow and postseason action with the Stanford Cardinal on Friday.